everyone. Hi. Welcome to Willingness Wednesday. I am your coach, Bevon Squires, and today we're sponsored by Spirit Source Connection, where we believe that we're multi-dimensional spiritual beings and that we have supernatural power that we enact through our intuition, our creativity, our visualization, and anything that's going to help us align ourselves, body, mind, and spirit, right? That's what it's all about, because we want to be in alignment so that we can have all of our energy moving in the same direction so that we can manifest all the wonderful, amazing things that the Creator has for our lives. And so today I am here with an all new Willingness Wednesday. It's been a while since I brought you some new information, and I thought, what do I really want to tell them? And what I really want you to know is that there are some things that we cannot change. No. And then there are some things that we need to change, right? Today, we're going to be talking about 5 things that we cannot change. David Richo, R-I-C-H-O, wrote a book about it. And I thought this would be amazing to bring to you because, see, once we know what the parameters are, then we're able to operate within those parameters and we don't have to waste our energy trying to change things that we cannot change. Okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to just jump on in because I know you have things to do. You don't have all day to listen to me. And it's not going to take long, I promise. So 5 things that we cannot change. I call them 5 disturbing realizations. And the first one is things were already the way they were when you got here. You can't change the system. Your family was already in place when you got here. The name they wanted to call you was already picked out for you. There is just so many things that were already here. The way the social system is already the way it was before you got here. There were certain double standards in place when you already got here. If you were born a male, you got to do things that females couldn't do. And that's just the way it is. I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of time bumping my head up against the wall trying to make things change. And it just did not register. There are certain things that you cannot change. Now, the other thing that you cannot change, the other disturbing realization is that everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Even the seasons. The seasons move about. You know, we have our winter, spring, summer, fall, and then it just does it all over again, right? There is a season, and each season begins and each season ends. That's just like us. There are things that do not stay the same. Let's say, for instance, life. Life changes. Whether we want to admit it or not, life changes. We go from an infant to the toddler, to the young teen, to the adult, to the older adult, to the mature adult, and then we expire, right? Talk about things ending. Things do end. And so we want to just make sure that we understand that the thing that we want right now is to be able to accept and let go. That's this whole premise for tonight's message. We want to be able to accept things for what they are and let go of control. Let go of those things that we cannot control. So the other thing that I want you to know is that things don't always go as planned. How many times have you had a plan in place and you are all set and ready and something happens? Oh my goodness. That happens to me quite a bit. So I had to learn how to be okay with pivoting in the midstream or, be okay with just breathing through. Okay. Okay, now that I'm not in panic mode, now I can think about what the solution is now that the plan has changed. The plan is always going to change. Things are always going to not work out the way that we hope they would. So we need to be okay with that and find a way to get some acceptance so that we can let go of the situation and move within those parameters, right? All right, and so the next disturbing realization that I have for you is that life is not fair. No, like I said earlier, if you were born a male, there were certain things that you got to do. And if you were born a female, there were certain things that you had to do. The roles, the gender roles were already in place when we got here. They were already set for us, what kind of life we would have as a male or as a female. That's something that we cannot change. And so we have to get some acceptance with that and find out how to work within those parameters, right? Okay, so the next thing I want you to know, oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one because people are going to disappoint you, right? People do not remain loyal. No, they don't. And that's just reality. And it's a painful reality because we want our friends to remain our friends. But as things change and evolve, relationships change, relationships end, new ones begin. You know, we find out that people are actually human and then we want to get angry. But I'm trying to help you here. There's no reason to get angry about any of these 5 disturbing realizations, okay? Things are not going to happen the way that you want them to. You cannot change the way things were before you got here. Life is not fair. And these are the disturbing realizations that we have to contend with. Even though the injustices in life that we have encountered, of course, you know, we want to say we cannot change that. And at the same time, people are probably saying that, oh, you're just being weak. We need to riot. We need to stand up. We need to rise up. Yeah, we can do all of that. And guess what? There will still be injustice of some type. That's just the way things are. And so there is a Serenity Prayer that David Rico speaks about in his book, and it goes like, God or source or whoever you pray to, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. All of these things that we just talked about are things we need to accept, not things that we can change. So we ask God to give us the grace, give us the peace, the wherewithal to be able to accept these things that we cannot change. The courage to change the things that we can, because there are some things that we can change. We can change the way that we respond to these situations. We can change the way that we perceive ourselves within the parameters of these 5 disturbing realizations. We can change how and where we go and who we spend our time with. Those kinds of things that we can change, right? So if you don't like what you're getting out of life, there's always a change that can take place. And it starts right here. When we change the way we look at the situation, well, then the situations that we look at change, right? When we take an opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to do things a little differently this year than I did last year. How many times have you looked up and found yourself in the same situation in some area of your life that you have been in for the last few years, and you look up and you're like, wow, I have been doing this for the last few years. Not necessarily because I like it, but just because it's a habit. We get into those habits, we get into those ruts, we get into those ways of thinking and feeling and believing, and then we find a comfort in that. And so then we become blinded sometimes to the consequences of staying in that thought process long after we should have changed it. There are little signs that come up in our lives, little red flags that give us an idea that, ooh, you might not want to do that again, or you might want to change that next time. Little red flags come up to alert us to the need for change. But sometimes we are in denial about the need for change because we don't want to change. And sometimes we think we can change the situation. Oh, I can fix it. oh, I'm on my way. It don't happen overnight. Implying a process, of course, but you have to be part of that process. You can't say there is a process and not be part of the process and expect your life to change as a result of a process. We can't do that, right? But anyway, guys, I'm just enjoying myself with you today. It's been a while since I've actually come on here and just interacted with you, and I'm just so excited about doing that today. Thank you so much for being here with me, because ultimately all we want you to do is be able to build that part of you that says, I am resilient. I can bounce back from any setback that happens in my life. And the thing about it is we need to know that there are things that we can change and things that we cannot, so that we don't spend our time trying to change things that cannot be changed. Instead of trying to change those things outside of you to be what you would like them to be, we learn to change who we are on the inside. We learn to wrap ourselves around those things that cannot change, as opposed to expecting those things that cannot change to wrap around us, right? There are some things that remain stagnant, or static is that's the word I'm looking for. Static, meaning doesn't change. So there are some things that are static, which means that we need to change around them because they are not going to change. I don't know how else to say it. I really don't know what else I can say to help you understand that. But anyway, I think I've done a great job. You guys are pretty smart out there. I know you get it. I know you understand. And so if you need some support, go ahead and reach out to me. I'm always here waiting to hear from you. And you can reach me at 317-828-3642. Or you can email me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com. I'm here for you always. And I'm going to say, in the meantime, I want you to stay steadfast. Whatever that thing is that you are manifesting, I want you to know that it's on its way. Don't give up the hope. Keep the faith. Keep moving forward. And the one thing that you know is that there are some things that you can change and some things that you cannot change. And now I am here to help you understand those differences. So meet me here next week and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that we cannot change, about getting acceptance on those things and what that's like. What's the whole process, Coach? I'll be here to tell you next week. In the meantime, I love you guys and I hope you have a great, wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, beautiful Willingness Wednesday. Goodbye.